Right, welcome to this Necron Tactics video. In this episode we're going to take a look at the Cryptek. One of the more humble units of the Necrons, one of, you may be surprised by this, but one of the most important units I have in my Necron army. They are insignificant perhaps as a model and their own stat line, but the enhancements that they can potentially bring to your army is invaluable. You know, when the Necrons win games, the Cryptek plays a very, very important role. So this is a unit you really want to get your tactics right for, because it can really enhance your army in a big, big way. But that's what we'll do in this video. We'll take a look at the tactics, we'll zoom in and take a look at the models as well. So in my Necron list at the moment, it's over on the Plus channel, proposed on there, and I'm putting the finishing touches to it together, and then starting to get some games out there on both of the channels for the Necrons. But I'm glad to see the Necrons making a return. You know, one of the classic armies on the channel. Wouldn't be the same without them. A reputation that stretches all the way back, causing trouble for everybody. So they're a powerful army for sure. I have two Crypteks in my current list. This one here is the Finecast model that was released. I'm not so keen on it as a model. We'll zoom in just a moment. So there's that one there, and then there's the fantastic plastic one that came out with the Forgebane set just here. We'll zoom in and take a look at these first. That's the plastic one. Just riding the top of this mini canoptic spider here. But look at it, it's incredibly sculpted. It really is good. Staff of Light looks great. So I just applied my usual technique here, as seen in the Necrons painting tutorial on the channel here. Just check that out and you'll see from start to finish how to paint Necrons. The process I use for all of this is exactly the same as you see in that video, so check that out if you want to see how Necrons painted up. It's a pretty quick technique. These didn't take too long to paint, but still I think the effects are pretty good. So you know, you want to paint up something at a pretty good pace, but still want a nice effect, then I'd encourage you to check out that tutorial. That's that one. It's just freshly painted up, and this one I've had for a long time. It's broken a few times. I've had to super glue it here. I'm not a fan of the Finecast models. Look at the warp and bend on his, I think that's meant to be straight, but that's not really that great. What you can do, I'm not keen on this model. I'm going to stick with this one. He's okay. He's sort of a bit hunched over as well, so I'm not too keen on the pose. I'm glad the arm's sort of raised up to give him a bit more presence on the table. What you can do, and I've seen this done very, very effectively, and that is to make a Cryptek a conversion. Check out, just go on Google and type up Cryptek conversions, and then just see the pictures of what people have done. There's some brilliant conversions out there, ones that look way better than the actual original models, in my opinion, look absolutely fantastic. So it's people using things like Triarch Praetorian models to give you a shape that's different to a Necron warrior, and then added in different accessories, different heads and so on that are available, and some of the results are absolutely fantastic. So you know, don't be put off from getting a Cryptek because you don't like the model. You know, do a conversion and you can get some great results. But that's the models that I have. We'll take a look at the rules now. So, you know, there they are. You run through your list, the opponent says, oh, what have you got in your army? And you go through everything you got, and they're like, oh, Monolith, yeah, okay, it's big. Triarch Praetorians, that's a nasty unit. And you come to these, oh, I've got a couple of Crypteks, and it's like, all right, okay. You know, it's not realising that it's because of these the Necrons can out-endure the opponent and win the game. They are that important. I'm going to real place an emphasis on them. It's well worth doing a tactics video, perhaps more than some of the other videos that are out there, because yeah, you make a video on another unit, bigger unit, tougher unit, and you see the video and you think, oh well, I know what that unit can do. It's probably going to be quite good. But these insignificant units here, seemingly insignificant, they're important linchpins for the army. We'll cover it as we go along. Both of these perform different functions for my force. And they look entirely different to each other, but they do run off the same entry here. Cryptek. They're pretty cheap. Well, they're sort of cheap. Not the cheapest of characters. I'm paying, let's just show you. They're not really that cheap. They're about 100 points really after your upgrades have been added in. So Cryptek, 70 points. That's your base. So they start off at 70 points each. Then your stat line, cover the stat line, power level 5, movement 5. We'll cover this guy here. Movement 5. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+. The Staff of Light, which I take, is okay. Weapon skill, just you're not going to do anything in close combat really. You know, it's 1 attack, so you're not taking this for the stat line. Weapons strength 4, toughness 4. It does have 4 wounds. It can take absorb some firepower, which is helpful. It does get caught out and ambushed. It's not going to take a few bolt rounds to bring him down. It's going to take more. 1 attack, leadership 10, 4+ save, not 3+, just a 4+ save. So they're weak enough. They come with a Staff of Light. Don't really get a choice about that. I think that's 10 points. Just double checking. Yeah, it's 10 points. So immediately you're 80 points for either of these, and you don't have a choice about it. So expensive enough. Staff of Light for shooting, range 12, assault 3, strength 5 -2 on damage. For a shooting weapon, it's pretty good. And then in close combat, strength for user, AP -2. Remember, 1 attack. So not the type of models you want to get in close combat. These are characters, both of them, so you bury them inside your gun line, opponent will struggle to try and get to them. So, for both of these types, my Necron army is broken down. The reason why I've gone for 2, quite logical. My army is broken into a gun line block. That's where he goes, in amongst them, and then an assault wing, like a rapidly moving, aggressive part of the army, and that's where he goes. So each part of the army with different function, different style, has a Cryptek to match. So you're on 80 points each. The model can take a Chronometron or a Canoptic Cloak. So a Canoptic Cloak is just 5 points. So you're looking at 85 points for him. The Chronometron is 15 points. So 95 points for him. He's actually more expensive than him. So Living Metal will come to their powers. We've just covered the points there. Living Metal, so if they have taken wounds, they automatically restore a wound each turn. The Chronometron then, 15 points. It is an absolute bargain, especially with the structure of the army that I have. This guy, you'll often see him buried in amongst big blobs of Necron warriors. So 15 Necron warriors, 15 Necron warriors, 10 Necron immortals, and in amongst the middle of them, tightly packed, is this guy, hidden away. The Chronometron, units within 3 inches of a friendly model with a Chronometron have a 5+ invuln save against ranged attacks. So all of a sudden, you're granting the entire gun line a 5+ invuln save. It's an absolute bargain for 15 points. And the amount of times I've rolled 5s for damage coming through, and it's helped keep those models alive. And the aim is to have these big blobs of units and to keep them alive, not to let them be wiped out. Once the unit's wiped out for the Necrons, you cannot reanimate. So the key is to, what I've got done for my army is to have big units that absorb loads of damage and then able to reanimate. And as long as they can keep reanimating, it's going to become increasingly difficult for the opponent to wipe them out, because as time goes on, the opponent's losing casualties, and usually they're not replacing what's lost. So that's the Chronometron. That's the 5+ invuln save that he grants. Technomancer, both of these have this, and this is one of the crucial reasons why I take them. Add 1 to the reanimation protocols for dynasty units within 3 inches of any friendly dynasty Crypteks. So when he's on the move with the Triarch Praetorians, an expensive unit, when they reanimate, they're on 4+ to reanimate because of him. In my gun line, I want as many models to get back up as I can. All those units, those big blobs of 15 Necron warriors and the immortals, they're getting back up on a 4+. It's a massive enhancement, especially, you know, the more units that can surround these, the better, because the more value you're going to get for your points. So you see the value. You know, 95 points, 85 points, you're going to reanimate a lot more. I reanimate a lot more points than that. In games I've reanimated 500 points of stuff. No problem at all. Because the way this army's structured. You do have to keep your dynasty the same. So bear that in mind. So the dynasty across my army is the same. I don't have mixed dynasties. Canoptic Cloak. So this is the cloak here. Model equipped with Canoptic Cloak has a move characteristic of 10, so he's able to keep up with the faster element of my army. Triumph Praetorians go 10, he goes 10, so he can keep up with them, no problem. Gains Fly, so you can jump over stuff and do all the same things as the Triumph Praetorians. In addition, at the start of your turn, you can select a friendly dynasty model that has the living metal ability. So that could be my monolith, if he's nearby, and it can also be my command barge. So if I have my command barge and he's taken damage, and if he's nearby, it's D3 living metal wounds restored instead of just the flat one. So there's a chance to heap on extra wounds. It is awkward though. It's here. In addition, at the start of your turn, a friendly dynasty model that has living metal ability within 3 inches of this model can have wounds restored. So unlike other, and I've been caught out on this, you have to remember this tactic, unlike other abilities that other factions have where you can do all your manoeuvring first to get things in range and then grant your power, this has to be done at the start of the turn. So at the start of the turn you're positioned like that, you're not going to be able to use that ability. So in your movement phase previously, it's going to be on your turn, you manoeuvre into position, and then you stay where you are, your opponent has their turn, and then at the start of your turn, so you've got to think well ahead, you need to position ready to do that, restoring of wounds. So you'll often see in games, when I'm getting it right, he is right next to the Catacomb Command Barge, or he's right next to the monolith, so that when the turn begins, he's in position ready to immediately restore those wounds. So all of that as it is excellent. I think it's brilliant. A better reanimation protocols is well worth doing for my Triumph Praetorians, and the ability to restore wounds I think it's worth doing. And he's sort of a cheaper option. Then for him, it's just the ability to grant the invuln save and +1 of the reanimation protocols adds a massive amount of durability to that gun line, and that's what I'm looking for. But there's more. I usually think he should be the warlord, but I don't make him the warlord. I usually make him the warlord. He's buried nicely in the line. It's going to be difficult for the opponent to root out. And because he's the warlord, you then get access to warlord traits. And this solves another potential problem that my gun line has. Yes, here. So one of the big dangers when I was putting the list together, I put it on the Plus channel, trying to think seriously of how do I get around the issue of, if I take big units, I've got problems with morale. If I'm taking, I have a unit of 15 Necron warriors, I take 10 casualties, the morale roll that I make is going to be disastrous. Or I'm going to be forced to do 2 command points for an auto pass morale. That's going to sap my command points away. What if there's 2 units that are taking terrible casualties? Just going to start losing lots of models, potential wipeouts because of terrible morale. But this guy, because he's the warlord, I can then give him Immortal Pride. Friendly dynasty units automatically pass morale tests whilst within 6 of your warlord. That's unbelievable. So the whole gun line now just ignores morale. In addition, your warlord can attempt to deny a psychic power in each enemy psychic phase in the same manner as a psycho. So you've also got the ability to block a psychic power. That's free of charge. Just by choosing him as the warlord, I've now got a psycho that can deny, that are also granting ignore morale for units within 6. So I expect that in games. My gun line, he's there, just that little insignificant character. Sometimes it's only later in the game the opponents realise that what a little linchpin this model's been, granting, ignoring morale, enhanced reanimation protocols, invuln saves, all stacking up, makes him an absolute must for my list. I mean, my army would be easily blown away and suffer morale problems without him. So that's just how important this model is. So if you're going for spare relics, you can. Sometimes I might give them the voltaic staff. It replaces the staff of light. Because he's buried as a character in amongst units, he can fire out and not receive firepower back. So voltaic staff shooting is range 12, assault 3, strength 6, -3 and 2 damage. It's pretty nasty, but there's other relics you can go for, so it's alright. But that's pretty much it. I'm not going to do any rolling up against other targets, because this video has all been about the enhancements that these are able to to grant to units that are nearby, and that's what you're taking the Cryptek for. It's the ability to grant some very powerful, very helpful benefits to units that are nearby. It just enhances you already have. You know, I pay out 320 points to my Triarch Praetorians. Then with him nearby, they're much more likely to get up and return to play. I pay out 169 points to this guy, takes heavy damage. I then have this guy nearby just to get him back into action and restored. And then I'm paying out, you know, big chunks of my army. Immortals, Necron Warriors, much more likely they're returning to play when they reanimate. They're never going to run away whilst he's there. And then, yeah, 5+ invuln save as well. You know, going to block a third of the damage coming through. And so for those reasons, I take Crypteks as a very, very important choice for my Necron army. Don't be put off by the points cost, because the way they can enhance your army is quite powerful. But anyway, that's the tactics. If you use Crypteks in a different way, if you're an experienced Necron player, leave the comments in the section below, and other players can refer back to that as well, not just what I've said, but what other experienced Necron players are saying. If there's tactics I've missed out, some really cool stuff that you can do specifically with these, leave that in the comment section as well. And then, as I mentioned, check out the painting tutorial on the channel here. You can follow that long step by step. You can paint all your Necron units using that technique. And then on the Plus channel is the exclusive content for the Necrons, 8th edition battle reports, new Codex battle reports available for them. It just means on the Plus channel, when you subscribe, it supports me in the production of videos, and in return you get access to the entire library and the forums and all of the content that's there over on the Plus channel. Full details of that and the link that you can click on is in the description below and should be up on the video screen here as well. But there it is. That's the tactics for Crypteks. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.